Hey, it's Coach Maggie, Certified Health and Wellness Coach. And today I want to talk about a very important subject, and that's how we store our food. When you stop and think of it, most of the food that you buy comes home in plastic. More than likely, it was processed in machines that had plastic parts, then it's put into containers that contain plastic. And now we're hearing so much about BPAs, and it's a chemical that is used that makes plastic very inexpensive. It makes it hard to break. It's inexpensive, but the problem is it's also been linked to a lot of disease. And so I'm looking for ways to make it safer. We can't avoid all plastic, but I want to make sure when I bring it home, I have less of that in my home. So one of the things that I've started doing, and actually have been for years, is using glass containers. Now this is a large canning jar. I hadn't even seen these until a few years ago, but it's the perfect way to store things. Very, very inexpensive. More than likely, you may have grown up with like Tupperware or Rubbermaid or some of those products. But again, there's that plastic. And sometimes whatever's being stored on the inside even starts to take a little bit of that taste or scent. So one of the things that I do as soon as I get home, for example, I bought this container of dates. And so right now it's in a plastic container. So I will go ahead and take this out and put it in something glass. I always bring my flour home, and of course sometimes flour is in paper, but again there's ink, and so again I like to use glass. Now certain things you want to keep in the refrigerator depending on how quickly you use them. I bake every single week, and so I go through my flour quickly, but some things you do want to check because you might want to keep them in the refrigerator. Beans are another one. These are black beans. Again, they come in a plastic bag, but instead put them in a jar. Now that's a nice quart-sized jar. Another one is, here's some brown sugar. Again, plastic, more plastic. I've got some coconut sugar. I like to go to the health food store and get a lot of my things in bulk. More plastic. So do you see how if our foods have a way of sometimes grabbing hold of the chemicals that are in the plastic, we're eating them. Now I'm sure there are people that will say, oh, it's so minute. But if you think about the course of 24 hours and how we are continually exposed to plastic everywhere, we want to have least amount of contact with our food. So one of the things in my cabinet, most of my things are now in glass. When I bring nuts home, again, I like to buy things in bulk, and these are pumpkin seeds. Now this was a jar of sliced mangoes. I probably should pull the label off. But when I have a choice, I always buy things, even if it costs a little bit more, in glass. I really like that. Same with like jelly or peanut butter. I don't buy homemade or I don't buy store-bought tomato sauce too much, but if you do, go with the glass. It's so much better. I've got sunflower seeds, honey, I get that, chocolate chips. A lot of places like TJ Maxx and those type of stores, they always have jars. Again, you won't have that uniformity, but that's okay. So I've got lots of those. I like these. This is rice, and I like these that have the clamp on them. Again, very easy to use and store, and I go through them so fast. So again, I don't mind. I've got all my nuts. Now a lot of nuts you do want to keep in the refrigerator, especially if you don't use them often. But again, we snack on nuts, I bake with them, so I do go through them quickly. But again, you want the jars to fit your lifestyle. If it's just you, you may want to go with smaller jars. Again, I like the quart size. For years, that's all I ever used. And then I discovered the bigger ones. But again, it's just a great, inexpensive way to store your food. I believe it's a healthier option. And I love that you can see. And again, I remember growing up with the Tupperware, and they were in either the pink or the blue. You didn't know what was inside. But I just open it up and I see all of the different things that I have. And so then it's like, oh yeah, I think I'll add some raisins or some dried cranberries. So again, consider slowly easing into getting rid of a lot of the plastic in your home and switching over to glass. It's cleaner, safer, and again, very economical on your budget. So until next time, this is Coach Maggie. Take care.